Guys, I think I'm on video 5 on parasites. And this is the how video. So first of all, so this is the how. I don't know where it stopped. It paused to tell me that my battery was low. When it comes to how, a couple of things are super important. One, you're not going to use one type of parasitic or antiparasitic or antihelminthic. You're going to layer multiple at the exact same time. I get really frustrated when people are taking ivermectin for no reason other than prevention, and they take it regularly. Because what is going to happen when you do that is you are going to develop a resistance to it, so that when you actually need it, it won't work for you. Same as antibiotic resistance. Don't use things you don't need. Don't overuse good things because you turn them into bad things. I preach this all the time about supplementation and diet and all kinds of things. You guys hear about something great on the internet, and then suddenly everybody takes it every single day, and then they wonder why it doesn't work. That's why. Because you didn't use it correctly, you didn't use it in the right dose for you, and you didn't use it in the right amount at the right time. Let's be smart. Let's take a systematic approach utilizing the science plus what our body is telling us. Because remember, your body is always right and your brain is always wrong. Stop trusting your brain. Trust your body. Your biology is infinitely wise. Your brain is a moron most of the time. Not because we're not smart, but because it tries to usurp what's going on, and your brain will lead you down the wrong path every time, I swear. Emotionally, psychologically, we want to reel that back in and get really in touch with the physicality of our body. That's just ground zero. Okay. So multiple types. My recommendation is a minimum of 3 different types of antiparasitics layered together. Again, whether we would use a pharmaceutical version or a natural version is really highly dependent upon you. And I advise that you don't do anything at all without first consulting with us and talking it through and deciding what the best option is. And then we'll send you an entire protocol. I have a complete protocol. I will not post it in this group because I don't want everybody to willy-nilly just decide when to do a parasite protocol. So instead, I'm going to post it for the team members in our team page, and they'll be able to help you go and fill in the blanks and check the boxes and decide what's best for you. But multi-type, rotation, and always add a binder. And that's where, remember, we talked about the OGS and the zeolite being more appropriate because they're going to be more discerning. They're not going to remove the good bacteria in the gut. They're going to help remove what doesn't belong. And they actually have the ability to leave behind what does belong in the microbiome, which is unique. The problem with most zeolites on the market is that although they're frequently marketed for removal of heavy metals in the bloodstream, when tested independently, most brands of zeolite on the market claiming to be pure actually contained the very heavy metals you're trying to get rid of. So there is only one that I use until I see something else that I think is better. It's the one I'm sticking with. And I don't recommend any of the ones that are out there advertising that they're great for everything and great for everyday use and blah, blah, blah. I know there's several companies that have their own and market them, and I won't mention any by name. I'm telling you, I do not trust any of them. I use a pharmaceutical grade zeolite, and it can be done in a powder or in a capsule. And it has, every batch has GMPC QA qualitative analysis available for each batch. That's what you want. You want 99.9% purity, where every single batch is tested and those test results are available publicly. If that's not the case, we ain't going there. Okay. And then the OGS is just, like I said, pure ionized carbon. There's nothing negative that could happen from the utilization of OGS, and it's something that I think everybody should use. We have our dogs on it, we have our horses on it, we free feed to the cows, the sheep, the pigs, the chickens. It helps keep everybody's microbiome healthy. It helps keep everybody disease free. It helps boost their immune system. We buy it in bulk for all the animals, and then we have the capsules in the house for us. We split the bulk with the dogs and the horses and the livestock, so we just buy big bulk bags that come to the house. Okay, so 3 types, always rotate, always use a binder. Why? Well, 1, you want to take a broad spectrum approach. If you are isolating, you have to remember that different parasites do not respond the same to all antiparasitics. So, for example, if you're using ivermectin, I'll use our sheep as an example because we don't deworm them frequently. We use OGS throughout the year. We feed them pumpkins. They're on pasture. They rotationally graze. They're very healthy. They don't need to be dewormed very often. But generally, before they lamb or right after they lamb, because their immune system is a little bit weaker after they've been stressed out, we will give them an antiparasitic protocol. And then babies, when we send them to a new home and they're stressed out, we tend to recommend that people do a natural antiparasitic. So we always do multiple types, same thing, because different worms respond to different medications, and there is synergy among those things. So many of these antiparasitics don't work alone. They work synergistically with each other to have a better approach. Also, when you layer them, you can do lower doses at lower quantities and get higher results. And by doing lower doses at lower quantities, you also have less damage to the gut microbiome, but more efficacy when it comes to the dewormer and less damage to the animal's long-term health. So this is all true of us too. There's no difference between us and our dogs, us and our sheep. Like, you have to understand that genetically speaking, we are less than 1% different from any other mammal on the planet. We aren't all that different. But obviously, and for the antiparasitics, the only issue really is weight, and not species. There are a couple that are species specific, but mostly not. Okay, so broad spectrum approach, resistance management, preventing resistance to them, synergy, taking a comprehensive approach to the fact that you don't know what you're dealing with. So the more comprehensive your approach is, the more thorough it's going to be. I already talked about the lower dose means lower side effects. The individuality of the whoever is taking it, right? What is your condition? What is going on in your body? What else are you dealing with? What medications are you taking? What symptoms are you having? Individuality is everything. And again, I'll say it again. This is what makes our philosophy different than any doctor you've ever dealt with, and why I hate them with a passion and think they are useless, because they don't look at the individuality of anyone. And it is your responsibility to understand you, and only you. Well, you and your children, you and your spouse, but no one else can ever be an expert on you except you. And then gut health. Obviously, we've talked about this 10 zillion times. Everything in the body goes back to gut health. So we want to leave the gut intact. We want to keep the microbiome healthy, but we want to help it, not hinder it. And so taking this layered approach, timing wise, doing it at the right time, is going to give us all of the benefits and minimize the negative side effects. That leads me to one more point. I don't ever want to hear anyone say that antiparasitics have no side effects, because it's not true. They do. Everything has the potential to have side effects. Whether you're taking garlic or using rosemary or colloidal silver or an antibiotic or ivermectin, everything has the potential to have side effects. Again, it goes back to one, individuality, but two, nothing is designed to be consistently used. Everything has a purpose, but you have to be smart about it. And so I see a lot of practitioners out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok telling people to take ivermectin regularly, or take, to utilize oregano oil regularly. That's terrible advice right away. Again, that's somebody you stop following because they clearly don't understand how the body works. You can't take the same thing over and over and over again and not either have a lasting side effect or deplete the microbiome when it's something that's designed. The mechanism of action is that it's affecting the gut microbiome, right? So anyway, I digress. Okay. Next video, I think, is my last video, and that's going to be how often should you address parasites?